Hello CVU students, Miss S here with your art lesson for the week. Today we're going to talk about concentric circles. Then we're going to talk about different ways that we can make our own concentric circles with things we might have in our house. Now I know concentric is a big word, but it really just means shapes that all have the same center or the same middle point. You could probably even find some in your house. I found a bunch in my house and I'm going to show you now.
You can tell this is a concentric circle because the circles get smaller as you go towards the center point. This dog toy is also a concentric circle when you look at it from the top because there's a center point and there's a smaller circle, then a bigger circle, and the biggest one at the bottom. Here's another example of a concentric circle that I found in my house. Even something as simple as a doorknob can have a center point with concentric circles coming out from it. These stacked bowls are concentric circles because they all come out from one center point.
Now that I've showed you concentric circles that I found throughout my house, I'd love to see if you guys can find concentric circles in your house. If you have the opportunity to take pictures of concentric circles around your house, do that, and if you can't take any pictures, that's okay. Just walk around and see what you can find.
This is a painting of concentric circles. It was made by an artist named Wassily Kandinsky. Kandinsky was an artist who believed that circles were the most perfect shape, so he wanted to create a work of art that had a lot of circles in it. And he studied circles by putting one on top of another and changing the colors to make a concentric circle.
Kandinsky was a very interesting artist. We'll talk a little bit more about him in our next art lesson, but if you feel like learning about him now, I've attached a link to a YouTube video that talks about his relationship with art and music. So you can feel free to look at that. It's Art with Maddie and Dada. So it's a little cartoon video that you guys might enjoy learning a little bit about this artist. There are many different ways to make concentric circles using things that we can find in our own house. If you can't do one of them, that's okay. You can maybe come up with something else that you can do. You can draw them or paint them. I'll show you a bunch of different ways. And if you come up with another one that you want to do or try out yourself, feel free. And once you guys have finished, please take a picture and upload it on Google Classroom if you're able to. So my paper is a reusable Trader Joe's bag that I found and some white pieces of extra paper that I had lying around. These concentric circles that I'm going to make are actually just me cutting circles out of the paper. So this is one sample if you have paper and scissors.
So right now I'm just cutting out a square for me to make my smallest circle that's going to be the center point of my concentric circle project that I'm making. I'm alternating from the brown paper to the white paper because I want each circle to be a different color. Every time I make a new circle, I put it on top of the paper that I want to use next because I want to make sure that the next circle I cut out is bigger than the last one that I made. If it's easier for you, another way to do this is you could trace the smaller circle that you made onto the sheet of paper that you're cutting out next so that you know how small the original circle is and you can cut bigger around that. The main thing is to make sure that each circle you're cutting out is bigger than the last one that you made. Once you have enough circles to make a concentric circle, you can stack them all up on top of each other. It's up to you if you want to glue them down, but I don't have any glue, so here's mine.
So this is a little bit extra of that grocery bag that I was using earlier. This is an option for in case you don't have scissors. So all you have to do is fold it in half. Any way works. You can fold it long ways, you can fold it short ways. But you're gonna fold it in half so that when you open it, there's a fold. But you want it to stay in half. And then you're going to start by ripping a small curve into it so that when you open that up, it becomes a circle. Okay, so you need to rip on the part that is folded. Okay, so it makes a full circle. You rip a half circle out of the folded part to open up to make a full circle. That's going to be our first one.
When you start ripping your next circle, you want to make sure that it's bigger than the first one that you made, but it's not too small because then it might rip really easily. Ripping paper is a lot harder than you might expect, so it's okay if you make any mistakes. As you see here, I ripped it accidentally, oops, but that's okay because I can just fix it and move on. I can just keep making bigger circles and it'll still work. Ripping paper is actually a type of art in itself, so you need a lot of control and you need to use both of your hands to make it work. Like I said before, your paper might rip and that's okay. Just try again and don't worry about it. Once you have enough circles, you can start stacking them inside of each other with the smaller ones inside of the bigger ones. But as you can see here, my small one is too big. It doesn't fit inside of the medium-sized one. So I just ripped off a little bit and put it back into the middle. Not only is the paper part of the concentric circle, but the space in between is also part of the concentric.
So if I put it on the floor here, you look, even that wood part in there, these are all part of the concentric circles. So that's how you can make concentric circles without using scissors. All you need is paper.
For drawing, you just start with a small circle and make bigger ones going out from there. Painting concentric circles is very similar to drawing them. You start with a center point and you paint different colored circles going out from that center point, which means your circles get bigger the further away from the center point that they get. So you can paint the circles by making sure that your new color touches the last color that you used. But if you want to put a white space in between, that can be okay too, as long as it's part of the circle, like this.